Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today we have extrapolated all of the screenshots for all of the nodes inside of Chaos Bolt except for one. One got skipped over, so there's no information on that one node, but we can go over the rest of the nodes, their description, their tags, and just theorycraft off of that. And then at the end of this video, after we've gone over the nodes, I will release what gameplay footage was released on Aaron's video so that you can at least see the skill in action a little bit. But for now, we're just going to theorycraft off of the text. So we've got Chaos Bolt, another new skill for the Warlock. It is a barrage of chaotic projectiles which land in an area around the target. The explosions deal necrotic and fire damage in a small area. It's got the fire, necrotic, spell, area, and intelligence scaling tags. And in the footage we saw on the Warlock reveal, it looked kind of like Frostclaw, where it was having a bunch of projectiles going out and hitting in an area, and I'm hoping there's a way to shotgun that to make them all hit the same target so that it can feel just as good as Frostclaw did. So let's dive into the first node. We've got Mania in Flames. Chaos Bolt hits have a chance to ignite enemies. So every hit that you do with them, you can get up to 100% ignite chance on that. We've got Exalt in Misery. Chaos Bolt's hits deal more damage multiplicative with other modifiers to damned, ignited, bleeding, and frostbitten enemies. So you can actually get, looks like 12% more damage for each one of those, and if you have all four of those on the enemy, 48% more hit damage. So that's a nice node. That kind of reminds me a lot of Elemental Nova that has a node that's very similar like that. Then we have a Grave for 2, and this node right underneath was skipped, so I'm not quite sure what this one is. And then we have a Grave for 2. Chaos Bolts deal more damage over time, multiplicative with other modifiers equal to a portion of your missing health. Oh. That's actually, wait, they deal 1% more damage over time for a flat amount of missing health. So usually you see, like, if you have like 65% missing health, it would do 65 more damage, but this is a good way to scale it, I guess, into the end game, because you can get tons of health, but you can get like 3k health. So if you're running low life with that, 3k divided by 20 is 150, so you can get 150% more damage out of that for having around 3k health, and of course going low life. That's pretty huge. That's a big one for just 1 point. Probably will be playing around with that. We've got the Burn. Directly casting Chaos Bolts extends the duration of your active Chthonic Fissures and Infernal Shades. Chthonic Fissures is going to be another one of the new skills, I assume, and then Infernal Shades we already have in the game, so a cool way to extend the duration just by using this skill. The Gate. Hitting your minions with Chaos Bolts grants them Damned, Ignite, Bleed, or Frostbite chance that Chaos Bolts gains from this tree. Ooh. That's a good way to spread all four of those, I suppose, if you're playing with minions. This buff lasts 10 seconds. It does not stack. But all your ailment chance to your minions for all four of those is pretty huge. That's pretty big. We've got Call of Mordidas. Chaos Bolt's base fire damage is converted to cold. Consequently, this damage scales with increases to cold damage, but not increases to fire damage. Ignite chance from all sources converted to frostbite, and it swaps the Chaos Bolt's fire tag for a cold tag. So a little bit of conversion you can do there. Torment of the Red Tundra. Chaos Bolt's hits have a higher chance to freeze enemy per 1% uncapped cold resist. Additionally, Chaos Bolts deal more physical damage over time, multiplicative with other mobs, per 4% uncapped cold resist. So you can do a little bit of burn and freeze at the same time. I kind of like that physical damage over time, which is a bleed, so that's pretty cool. A nice synergy with just stacking a lot of cold res. But yeah, those are some big more damage multipliers that you can have there. Next, we've got Chance of Snow. Chaos Bolt's hits have a chance to chill enemies. Additionally, Chaos Bolt's hits have a chance to deal double damage multiplicative to chilled enemies. Ooh, and chilled's pretty easy to get on enemies, so by the second hit, you can already have that chance for double damage. 5 points, it looks like 30% chance for double damage. That's pretty nice. I think that equates out to basically having like a 30% more damage multiplier overall, so 5 points on that isn't huge, or not really worth it, but still pretty nice. Next, we have Sanguine Reverie. Chaos Bolt's base necrotic damage is converted to physical. Consequently, this damage scales with increases to physical damage, but not necrotic damage. So you can convert the necrotic into physical, and it looks like you convert the fire into cold. So some weird, this some dual tags there that you can kind of switch around. Damage chance from all sources are converted to bleed chance for Chaos Bolt. Swaps Chaos Bolt's necrotic tag for a physical tag, which you'd expect. And then, of course, having all that damage become bleed chance and teaming that up with the physical damage over time that you get over here based on cold resist could be a build. Blood Teeth. Chaos Bolts cost less mana, but now consume a portion of your current health and ward on cast. Ooh. I really like that reduced mana cost and the consumption of current ward, because you can just run or current health, you can run a low life build, but consuming your ward, that might make it not worth it. And that's up to 9% of your ward being consumed at a time. Ouch. That might hurt. Exacted Libation. Chaos Bolt's hits have a chance per intelligence to cast Rip Blood at target enemies. This effect can occur a maximum of 3 times per second. Ooh, so with 100 points of int, you can have a guaranteed chance for Rip Blood to be cast every time that you have Chaos Bolts hitting enemies. Up to 3 times a second, but still an easy way to have Rip Blood be proccing. Another Affliction. Chaos Bolts hits against cursed enemies cast Bone Curse at their location. 6-second cooldown. So you can have it proc Rip Blood and Bone Curse. Ooh, that's a lot of secondary procs you can get off of this. Reaper of Mayhem. Chaos Bolts hits have a chance per dex to cause you to attack with Harvest from the location of enemies hitting them and enemies around them. Ooh, so Harvest, the melee skill, you can actually have proc from where the enemies were hit, not from you. So you have a ranged kind of Harvest. This effect can occur a maximum of 3 times per second. So if you have 100 dex and 100 int, you could have Rip Blood, Harvest, and Bone Curse all going off. That's a lot of secondary procs. Like, that's pretty sick. I definitely think there's going to be some builds around those. Abrupt Chaos. Increase your cast speed and projectile speed. Doom's Vindication. Chaos Bolts have more damage and its hits deal more damage to cursed enemies. So, ways to double dip there. Both of these damage increases are multiplicative. That's pretty big. So you can get 16% more damage and 32 against cursed enemies. Another more modifier. Devour of the Damned. Chaos Bolts hits against cursed enemies regain health and mana. Ooh. 2 mana and 12 health. The health isn't that big, but being able to get 2 mana back on every hit, that's basically like negative 2 mana cost, right? But if you're actually hitting multiple enemies, I feel like this is going to be really good for mob dense. Single target will be, the challenge. I like it though, a way to get mana back. Cursed Blood. Chaos Bolts hits refreshes the duration of your curses on them and grants you health per curse. Ooh. So it refreshes all the curses on them with each hit, and you gain health based on each of those curses. I think there was like 5 or 6 curses we saw the other day, so could be pretty good. Seed of Chaos. Chaos Bolts hits against cursed enemies has a chance to cause you to recast Chaos Bolts from their location towards another nearby enemy, consuming a portion of the mana cost. The recast has a minimum range of 5 meters, and it will not cast at enemies within that range. Ooh. And you can have a 10% chance to recast with it costing 80% of the current mana cost of it. Interesting. Destructive Intensity. Whenever you cast Chaos Bolts, you gain a stack of Destructive Intensity up to a maximum. Each stack reduces the target area and improves Chaos Bolt's base critical strike chance. If you go 2 seconds without gaining a stack, all stacks are lost. I don't really like that it reduces the area, but that crit chance would be an easy way to get some crit, some crit chance, get to 100% crit real easily. And the whole 2 seconds, like 2 seconds, that shuts a short time. Like, you're going to lose those stacks pretty often. I don't know if it's worth the reduced area. I feel like you'd want to hit. Maybe it's great for single target. I guess we'll find out. Pandemonium. Chaos Bolt's explosions have a chance to deal damage in a much larger area, so you can have up to a 39% chance for 160% increased area. That's a huge area increase. Scatter. Chaos Bolt's hits now have a chance to fear enemies, but the projectiles target a wider area. It looks like you can have up to 4 points, and that's a 100% chance to fear with up to 52% increased area. I like it. I'm, again, not a huge fan of fear, but maybe it'll feel good with Chaos Bolts. Chthonic Aura. Chaos Bolts release additional projectiles, but has a higher mana cost. 1 extra projectile and a flat mana cost increase. Oof, I like it better when it's percentages. I hate flat mana increases. Those hurt. Volatile Kindling. Chaos Bolts hitting one of your volatile zombies causes it to instantly explode. Zombies exploding this way deal more damage in a larger area and its multiplicative damage. 35% more damage in a 70% larger area. I could see that definitely happening. More zombies. Zombies are already good, so... more zombies. Sudden putrescence. Volatile zombies exploding from the volatile kindling node deal even more damage in an even larger area and then poison enemies. Up to 75% more damage, up to 120% increased area, and up to 3 stacks of poison. I feel like you're going to explode the enemies. I don't even know if there's a point for the poison, but that is a lot of damage. So you can make zombies do 35% more damage in that first node, and then 75%, so 110% more damage overall. Of course, those are multiplicative, so they even compound a little, but that's a lot more damage. Like, that's zombies hitting twice as hard as they already hit in game. I can see some builds around that. Mana Anarchy. Chaos Bolt's projectiles have a chance to consume additional mana, causing it to deal more damage. It has up to a 39% chance to consume mana for 30% more damage. So you have a 39% chance for a 30% boost to damage. So it's like a 40% modifier on average, but it's going to consume a lot more mana. Revolution. Whenever mana is consumed by the Mana Anarchy node, your minions gain additional spell damage based on your maximum mana, and they also gain increased cast speed. The buff lasts 13 seconds. Spell damage per 20 max mana plus 1. Ooh, with 13% cast speed. That seems like a really good buff to your minions. The fact that you only have to have that proc once every 13 seconds, it doesn't say whether this stacks. I'm going to assume it doesn't. So it's not a stacking buff, but they get, say you have 200 mana, that's only 10 flat spell damage. It's not a huge amount. If it stacks, it's a huge amount. Interesting to play around with that one. And lastly, Chains of the Betrayer. Chaos Bolts no longer shoot multiple projectiles, but now it's do one large projectile, causing it to deal more damage in a larger area. And that's 50% damage per projectile you would have had, which I think we were up to like 5. So that's a lot more damage. And area per projectile, if it was 5, that's a 175% increased area. That's huge. So that's a big area. That could be a lot of fun. I guess we'll see. You did have to take a lot of mana nodes to get there, but... overall, I didn't see anything that said that they shotgun, so I didn't see a shotgun node. Perhaps that's the one we missed, who knows, but hopefully you're able to shotgun a little bit. Otherwise we might just go with the one big bolt. Just for single target, it would seem to make more sense, right? But I'm going to leave you guys with some gameplay of several different ways that the skill is put together. This gameplay is from Action RPG's video, so it's just the footage that he had. And let me know in the comments below what you guys think were the most interesting nodes to you, and if this is a skill that interests you. As always, stay safe and have a good one.
Feel my wrath. Feel my wrath. Wither before me. Wither before me. Feel my wrath.